And here we are with my next project. Our neighbor gave it to us, and since then we use it for dog stuff. The problem is we like to put stuff on top of it, so then it's quite annoying to get access to what's inside. So what we will do is we will open the front here and make it to a tilt out cabinet similar to the trash cabinet I made. And then the top part here will be fixed, so then we are still able to put plants or something like that on top of it. So let's get started. One screw head snapped off. Well, let's see how we can remove it. So, since only half of the screw head popped off, I think the easiest thing is to use a drill and try to remove the rest of the head, and then I think the rest of the screw can stay in. I think it would be way smarter to cut this on the table saw, then I get a better edge. So here are the good news. When I cut the front part out, I noticed that first of all it's properly built. You have tenons here, and also these are not glued in, so like it should be this floating panel within the frame. So now I can actually rebuild this frame. I disassemble this, add two pieces here, and then build like the other parts. And also, if you look at the color here from the wood, it's really dark, so it's not pine or something like this. So I'm thinking at the moment that I don't want to paint it, instead remove all the paint and then oil it. So I found this wood in my workshop. It's nearly the same color as this. If any one of you have an idea what wood this is, I don't know. And then I cut these parts here to size. Actually 2 centimeters too much, because I will make a small tenon here and a groove here, so then I can attach the frame like this, and also I need a groove here to accept the panel. And for the panel I need to extend basically this cut here, so that you have the same profile on this side here. So in the past I struggled with routing a groove basically on the side on the board, because it's really hard to keep the router perpendicular if you have such a small surface. So this time I put the board in my vise here, so that I can use my workbench as a reference surface. the advantage is that now I can swap the boards and I can repeat the same cut at the same position. So with heat I could remove the white color quite well. So I continued with the side part and removed here the white color as well. But the yellow paint was a little bit different. I could remove it a little bit, but I think it's not worth it. So I will use the band sander for that. So let's sand this and then we can assemble the frame. So while the door is drying, I can start with the rest of this thing here. And I'm absolutely not looking forward to sand the whole thing. But luckily before I can start with that, I need to attach basically the old door to the top. And before I attach it, I will sand it. So before I put that piece back in, I want to show you something. And that is the maker of this piece here. They put in a wood piece here in the sides, perpendicular to that top piece. Basically what it's doing, it's preventing the wood from warping like this. I typically use normally a dovetail and I don't glue it in, or only glue it in one area, so that there's enough room for shrinking of the wood. But it looks like in this case, when the top part is quite small, you can glue something like that in. It's quite easy to make, so probably I will use this technique in the future. So I'm done with the heat gun and now sanding. Okay, so I've nearly the parts together for the box, which is then tilting out. These are the side parts. I cut them from old shelf parts. And this is the bottom, which was actually the original bottom of this box. So the back part will be cut from this broken shelf part. But I'm not so sure about the height, so I will do that at the end. Okay, so remove that, we should be fine. I cut the back part to size. The height must be less than the front, because when you tilt it out, you basically need clearance when you completely want to open it. And also these side parts then will be adjusted. For this tilt-out cabinet I want to try something new. Normally I would use a hinge and attach it here at the front, but for that I would need some kind of support beneath it. So instead I will use these pins here and connect with these pins the tilt-out part with the cabinet. So I shimmed the inside box so that there's actually the right space for it. These two shims, and then better than I expected. So to close the holes here I want to use a dowel, but I only have this textured dowel which is actually too thick, so I will sand it down. I'm so glad that the sanding is over and now we can start with the oil finish. I link a video up here if you're interested in how to apply a linseed oil finish, because that is what we are doing now with this box furniture thing here. I don't know why, but I'm surprised how well this opening mechanism worked. And well, I really like it and it's hidden. But there's a problem which I haven't thought about, and that is if you open it, but you can open it completely. So I have to add a plug here. So I use some dark wax, basically what I have here, to cover up some mistakes I made, basically put it in the some cracks. I also added it especially here in these areas where there was paint left, to cover it up a little bit. So then I added a coat of wax on top of it and let it set for some days, and now we're gonna polish it. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe and see you in the next one.